Having a good one. What's good, was good, was good. So, yeah, woke up this morning, expected a couple of things, got a couple of things. What are the couple of things that we got? Well, GameStop, they said that, hey, we're going to do something. They got approval from the board. It's a $1.3 billion purchase of Bitcoin. And just on that announcement, the stock soared 12%. 12%. Should have been a hint when you saw that picture with, the CEO of GameStop and Michael Saylor. And then there was like a whole dancing video after that. I think that was AI, but still pretty cool. The question is, can it sustain that? Now, if you're smart, you got your stock before they actually bought the crypto. Then when they got the board approval, stock soars, sold your stock, quick 12%. And there are a lot of people out there that are doing things like that, just playing on the news, right? If you took my class on how to do your own research, you'd understand what I'm talking about, right? They floated the bubble. Bubble went incredibly well. They knew the bubble was going to be fine, but they still have, in this game, they still had like 3 stages to the announcement. Hey, this is what we're going to do. Hey, we did it. Hey, we're about to do it. Hey, we did it. How do you think we did? 12%. That's how we think you did. Then you have Wyoming Governor Mark Gordon withdrawing his support, Republican, withdrawing his support for the reserve bill. Why? Because it couldn't get there. Now, Wyoming launched, I told you guys last night, Wyoming launched their stablecoin, WYST. WIST. Or it could be WIST. Don't know. Wyoming. So it could be WIST. Who knows? Most likely WIST. Anyway, so they launched that, but then they say, well, yeah, the whole Bitcoin reserve thing, yeah, that's probably not going to work out. That's why he's pulling back. Everybody was so, gung-ho for it. And then all of a sudden, the air was let out of the bubble. It didn't pop, but it was like, yeah, that part right there, that might not happen. And that's what happens. So am I upset with that? No, not at all. They have feasibility concerns. And this is Wyoming, one of the most protective states when it comes to trusts and things like that. So you have a lot of companies that are there. So it's actually a bigger deal than what most people would think that Wyoming would pull out. So I'm finding it interesting. But they did launch a stablecoin. And I still have the same question I did last night. What does your stablecoin do that all the rest of the stablecoins out there can't do? So what, we're going to have 50 stablecoins? You know what I mean? Like, what are you doing? When I look at the banks, launching stablecoins, Custodia Bank launched its own stablecoin based in Wyoming. What's that do? Right? What are you doing there? And then there was that company that launched another stablecoin. You're like, regime-related company. And you're kind of like, what does your stablecoin do that the rest of these coins don't do? Then, of course, last night I told you about how the newly revised bill going to the president's desk was kind of like, well, you have to have one-to-one backing, in reserves. Originally, that was supposed to hurt Tether. Tether might actually have the money. And even if they didn't, it would only take them, if they started from zero, which obviously they're not, it would only take them like 14 months. 2.5 years to get to that Bitcoin reserve if they started from zero today. Oh, why is that? They make about $4 billion a quarter, $3 to $4 billion a quarter in profit. So if they wanted to do it, they could. Either way. But they are also talking to a whole bunch of auditing firms, like the Big Four, whoever they are now these days. I wouldn't be able to name them for you because they change places so often. I don't know who the Big Four are anymore. What is it? E&Y, Deloitte. Who are the other two? No, clueless. Anyway, when I look at that, I'm kind of like, well, they're trying to put their best foot forward and say, hey, you can come audit us. These are how we're keeping our books. They've probably had a lot of conversations on the hoops they have to jump through to be audited by one of the Big Four. So yeah, I will be paying attention to that. Does Tether, because Tether's going to have to prove that, hey, they have the money. 2, the second one is really a big one. They're going to have to abide by U.S. federal law. do what we say, and that's it. I don't know if they're going to go for that. We'll see. But I think it would be a bad idea for the United States to isolate the country from Tether. Just saying. Just saying. Then you got Congressman Emmer, Tom Emmer? Yeah. Reintroducing the Securities Clarity Act. And it's to establish clear regulatory guidelines for digital assets. I think they're going to change the name. You have to change the name, right? And the reason why is because it's called the Digital Securities Act. So he relaunched it and wasn't smart enough to change it because the bulk of crypto out there is not considered securities anymore. He should have chosen a more neutral name. But, that's just me. It's all good. Hopefully he'll get there. We'll see. I'd have to read it to see what's actually in it, to see how it affects digital assets and all those other things. I'd have to see if he has revised it at all since the first time he put it out there to address the new court rulings that have happened. I don't know. I don't know if he was that bright. No clue. I have to go check. If you go check, let me know. That'd be really nice. Yo, Mr. Big, good morning. Then we've got the U.S. Senate has voted to repeal an IRS rule that imposed reporting requirements on DeFi transactions. Yeah, that's being pulled back. Oh, why? Why is that being pulled back? It's going to land on the president's desk and he's going to sign it. Why? Oh, that's right. Because a few of his regime-related companies are within the DeFi space is what I'm thinking. It's like, oh, yeah, we don't want everybody to know what we're doing over there. So, yeah. DeFi is going to be incredibly interesting. So I think you're going to see a lot of people switch to DeFi transactions versus normal buy-sell transactions, spot buy-sell transactions. Do your own research, know your entries and exits, and absolutely invest deliberately. Why do I say that? It's because when you're trying to do these transactions, you want to know who you're doing them with, where you're doing them, how you're doing them, how you can get in, how you can get out. And you want to be able to do it deliberately. If you can't do it deliberately, don't do it. Because you could be about to make a mistake. That's all I'm saying. So be careful when you do that. Gate.io is on a major push to grow business. How are they doing it? They launched a new referral program. And it sounds silly, but you hear about, BitGet sponsoring the Porsche Cup in Brazil. That's, sponsorships and things like that, I'm cool with that. But don't forget about the basics. And Gate.io is saying, yeah, we have things going on, but let's not forget the basics. So we have a referral program. Smart. It really is smart. I haven't used Gate.io in a while, but let me tell you, when I did use it, it was a nice, easy platform. It was nice and easy. So what else do we have? We've got Hyperliquid. There's a lot of issues going on with Hyperliquid, right now. The Hyperliquid exchange faces scrutiny over market manipulation and ethical concerns. That could be big. Now, I saw an article and I thought it was the dumbest article ever. Could this be the next FTX? No. And whoever wrote that article, go take many a seat and shut up. I would say that to their face. Go take many a seat and shut up. Let's not even have the conversation. Why would you want to bring up the FTX fiasco when they're not even close to being the size of FTX? You just wanted to bring FUD into the mix. Don't appreciate you. Don't appreciate you at all. This industry has taken it on the chin for years. And now you want to do something like that. Go take many a seat. Don't get back up until you're told. That's what I have to say to that person. Or those people that are writing articles like that. Yeah, there could be controversies in a lot of different places. But we're not going to sit here and spread fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Right? And scare the bejesus out of everybody. We've already been through that. Oh, and by the way, did you notice? Pinhead, we survived. We survived major attacks on crypto, from debanking to frivolous lawsuits to FUD, hype, pumps and dumps. Get it through your thick skull. Report soundly, report properly, report facts. You can even talk about your own opinions. But let's not do that whole FUD thing for no reason. North Carolina looking to get exposure in crypto and pension funds. Yep, I heard about it. But they're only talking about it. They're only talking about it. I mean, it could happen. Florida said, "Oh, we're going to look into this and blah 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 blah." Talk to me when you have a bill. Do you know what I mean? Talk to me when you have a bill. When you put forward a bill, then we'll start to talk to you. We'll start to listen to you. We'll start to figure it out if you can actually do it. Does North Carolina have the money? And, and all that other good stuff. And how much you're going to put into it? What percentage are you willing to do? 5%? 10%? Just saying. Just saying. You could go the way of Wyoming and not have enough votes to actually get it across the line. Excuse me. Just saying. Vanguard. Now, this is funny, and I said this before. I don't know why anybody is amazed by this, but Vanguard could actually wind up getting exposure to crypto because of holdings that it has. Some of the companies that it has holdings in have Bitcoin exposure or are about to have Bitcoin exposure. Interesting, no? That's going to be special. When you stop and think about that, that's going to be special. And the reason why I think so is just because when I look at everything that's going on, Vanguard might get exposure. They're still not going direct. When they invest in these businesses, they could care less about their crypto. But what they will be paying attention to is going to be how much attention are you giving to crypto versus your main business? And that could be the differentiator for Vanguard. That could be the differentiator for a lot of companies that are out there. You're doggone right, Mr. Big. Crypto ain't going nowhere. Except up, in my humble opinion. It's a part of the fabric already. It's a part of the financial connective tissue already. So talking that, oh my gosh, this could be another FTX. I would really, really, really like to take that person's credentials away. Dumb as ever. We all make mistakes. I've made mistakes in articles, things like that. Everybody makes mistakes. But this was like a full-chested, full-throated article talking about, oh, this could be the next FTX. And I'm like, what kind? Clickbait title. No, I did not click on it. As soon as I saw the title, I knew it for what it was. You'll probably get into the article and they'll say, oh, well, not really, because it's not nearly the size and blah, 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 blah. But that was over the top clickbait. For me, it was way over the top. Go take many a seat. To even plant the seed in somebody's head. Nah. I will talk. You heard me talk about Hyperliquid. That's a problem. Is it a big problem? Not really. In my head, Hyperliquid's, practically brand new. I don't care. I tell people all the time, practice the GMB 3. Do your own research, know your entries and exits, and absolutely invest deliberately. Why do I say those things? Because it means if you do all that, you're not going to rush into the next big thing. You're not going to go out there and rush because, ooh, squirrel. You're not going to do that. As my brother likes to call him, the next big shiny apple. Yeah, nah. Yes, Vanguard has their hands in everything, as does BlackRock, as does Blackstone, as does Fidelity. There are a lot of companies out there that people don't realize they have their hands in everything. And you know what's really funny? They all have their hands in each other. Yep. That's the way it works. Go look them up. Go look up who the biggest holders of BlackRock, Vanguard. Just go around the circles. You'll just take those top 2 or 3 and you'll be like, oh, snap. They are all, yep, Go do that. Be smart about it. I'm telling you, GMB 3 is not just meant for crypto investment. You can apply those investment practices against anything. Do your own research, know your entries and exits, and absolutely invest deliberately. That last one kind of confuses people. What do you mean absolutely invest deliberately? It means don't jump at the shiny apple. Be sure-footed, 2 feet on the ground, and be able to make a sound decision. That's what that means. Just putting it out there for you. But you know what we should do? That's right. We should get into the numbers. Let me move my notes out of the way. It's just proof that, you guys know that I'm doing my research. I'm investing in myself first and sharing my thoughts. So what's going on today? We've got initial jobless claims, GDP, second revision, advanced trade balance goods. So we've got a bunch we've got pending home sales, and we have Fed speak. I pay attention to Fed speak. You want to do that because it gives your finger on the pulse. And I pay attention to the rest of those numbers. Why? Because as we near the next FOMC meeting, they're going to be paying attention to those numbers. And everybody wants them to lower rates. And I want you to look at who wants them to lower rates. Who is it going to affect? I took your advice on getting out and waiting until the bottom comes in. I got and waited, and bam, I bought in, and I'm up like crazy. You remember Blender? Ah, dude. My man, I'm glad you're up. I'm glad you're up. That's awesome news. Thank you. That is awesome news. Fear and greed index is at 40, a big drop from 49 where we were last week, a big drop from yesterday, which was 47. So now we're back in fear. We're, close to neutral, but we're still in fear. It's cool. Not going to cry about it. We're about $1 billion lower today in total value locked at 107 billion. Bitcoin is still moving laterally. Look at this. It's moving laterally, kind of, but a little bit. It's trying to edge up. But this whole line right here, we're moving laterally. We're moving laterally. Okay, and we're gonna move laterally for a little bit. As you can see, we're in between two of my favorite bands. We're bouncing between 82,490 and 93,434. We've got to be above 93,434 to even think about getting up to the new all-time high. I think if we start playing around in the 90s where we are in the 80s right now, that's when you'll see things start to shoot up. The GMB 3 at work, that's what's up. That is what's up. Yeah, you have no idea, Mr. Big, how much that makes me happy. Like crazy happy. Then what I mean by crazy is holding. Yeah. People don't play the markets the way they're supposed to sometimes. They hold on for dear life. They don't make any changes. They wait for the big event. And meanwhile, they're missing out on the smaller events that happen. There's an old story, small story about consulting. This big time consultant is walking with his underling, and the underling notices, hey, there's $1 on the ground. And he says, the big guy says, leave it there. There'll be another one. Without the guy knowing, he picks up the $1. Keep walking down. They see another $1 for sure. There's another $1. Picks it up. Guy says, no, just leave it there. There'll be another. There'll be another. There'll be another. Oh, you know what? Don't worry about it. There'll be a 5 soon. Guy's got some bucks in his pocket. Sure enough, there's a 5. Leave it there. Sooner or later, we'll have a bunch of 5s. Sooner or later, we'll hit the 10. See where I'm going with this? He picks up all the 5s. Then they get to the 10, the 20, and the 50, the 100. That's when the guy says, okay, start picking up the hundreds. He goes, I've been picking up everything. You're the little guy now. Look at all this money I got in my pocket. Sometimes those little things matter. My mother taught me, if you see a penny on the ground, pick it up. Pennies make dollars. I've lived by that. Pennies make dollars. Took my son a little bit to realize that, yeah, pennies make dollars. Took time for him to learn that lesson, but he learned that lesson. Just saying, you don't thumb your nose at little stuff just because you think it's little stuff. All these opportunities where you have to gain, I told you I have 2 separate wallets. 2 separate wallets. One is for holding and one is for trading. The trading, I'm trying to take advantage of this. Markets ups and downs. I'm trying to take advantage of that. But when there's a big move, I have no problem dumping everything that I have to get back in at the lower level. That's what Mr. Big is talking about. That's what Mr. Big is talking about. So yeah, I'm thrilled that you were able to do that, Mr. Big. Absolutely thrilled. Anyway, what else do we have? So I normally look at these numbers and kind of go, yeah, this is kind of interesting. This is cool. Let me just refresh this real quick. Just make sure we have fresh numbers. All right, so 87,473. Year to date is at 634. Ethereum is at 3910. Okay, not bad. XRP is up 14% year to date. Again, I look at all these numbers just so I can kind of see if there's a rhythm to a certain coin that I'm interested in, right? Once I understand if there's a rhythm, I come over here to the crypto tracker. Give it a moment, it'll load. Boom. And I say, great, let me take a look at the losers. All right? Here are the losers. Let's see. Hyperliquid down 9.84%. It's only down 9.84% today. It's got a GMB X factor of 1.42. It's relatively new, and its GMB X factor is only 1.42. Can it come back from this? Of course it can. Of course it can. Just saying. On CoinGecko, it's ranked number 32. I think it'll be fine. That's right. Mr. Big, don't leave anything on the table. If you're hungry, eat. Slip on down. Who's another one? Movement is down 8.9%. GMB X factor of 1.92. Movement was manipulated. Binance reacted. So yeah, it's going to be down a bit. Can it come back? Who knows? We'll have to see. We'll see if that project can come back. Virtual's protocol, 8.23% change to the downside. GMB X factor 5.78. I don't know if it can come back. It doesn't have enough of a track record for me to know that. But we'll see. I've got a little bit of it. I'm not worried about it either. Bonk down 7.98. GMB X factor 3.22. I think Bonk's going to wind up coming back. SHIB is at 1434, down 7%. GMB X factor 5.01. You want to know something? Shiba Inu is at 12. It's at 14 now. It was at 12. Did you buy when it was at 12? Because I'll tell you now, I'd buy. I would absolutely buy. That GMB X factor for SHIB, 5.01. You kidding me? Yeah, no, I have no problem with that. I have zero problem with that. I'll get my money back. Brett is down 7%. It's got GMB X factor 5.22. Let's see, anybody else on here that I care about? Not really. And then you hit the 5% mark, and then you really don't care, right? Question about ETH. Are they having problems because of all the L2s? In my humble opinion, no. In my humble opinion, no. Everybody's like, oh, but that takes away from their ability to make money. They're still relying on the technology. It's part of the connective tissue. Just saying. Just saying. I'm not worried about it at all. L2s require them. Now, does that take away from the amount of money that Ethereum can make itself? Ethereum's not a company. I'm not worried about it. I think the coin will be fine. I think the tech will be fine. Just saying. At some point, they might wind up saying, well, hey, we're going to change the gas fee thing a little bit. Nobody's really going to care. I'm telling you, I don't have any issues with Ethereum at all. None at all. Right? They have all the security of ETH, and they're cheaper. For now. Ethereum's making headway on becoming cheaper, faster. Like I said, it's a part of the connective tissue. It's going to be fine. You know what projects I am worried about? All of the projects aren't running on Bitcoin. We're going to make Bitcoin have smart contracts. We're going to have Bitcoin do this and do this and do. Yeah, all right. All right. Anatoly was out there the other day. I told you guys, Anatoly was out there the other day talking about L2 suck. You should only worry about L1s. Everything has its place. Everything has its place. And I'm looking at all these L2s, and I'm looking at, what used to be Ethereum's number one L2, which was Polygon. And everybody's like, oh, Polygon. And all these other L2s are coming up. And I'm just like, what do you do that you can't do with Polygon? As an example. Can you move faster? Maybe. Are you cheaper than Ethereum? Yeah. Everything is always, we're gonna be an L2. We're gonna be an L2. We're gonna be an L2. At some point, you're gonna oversaturate that space, and people are gonna start asking the same damn question: what the hell do you do that these other ones don't do? The hype is in the token, not in its capability. The hype is in the token. And let me tell you something. Just because you're an L2 and you say you move faster doesn't mean I'm going to trust you anymore. Just because you think you're cheaper doesn't mean I'm going to trust you anymore. Some of these L2s have been around for a while. Like Polygon. Been around for a while. Tried and true. Some of these new jacks, I'm not playing with you. I'm not playing with you. Show me that you can take it on the chin like they have. Serve an actual purpose like they do. Okay. But am I worried about Ethereum? Not in the slightest. Not in the slightest. Anyway, everybody, this is Eddie J on crypto for growmybag.tv. I hope you like what I'm doing. If you do me a favor, smash the likes. Tell your friends about this community. This is one of the only communities out there, that doesn't tell you what coins to buy. We try to educate you in the space, give you the news and then our opinion on the news. That's what we want to do, because we want you to understand things while things are going on the way up and while things are on the way down. Everybody's a rock star when the market is going up, but nobody's breaking it down for you on the real when the market's going down. Mr. Big and all his posts right there, I hope you're actually paying attention to what he's posting. That right there, I took your advice on getting out and waiting until the bottom comes in. I got in and waited, and bam, I bought in, and I'm up like crazy. You remember Blender? Because he's a big bagger, and we had a big conversation about Blender in the Big Baggers Forum. Telling you, we're trying to make sure that you're educated for when things are going up and educated for when things are going down. Because if you teach a person to fish, that's the idea. Anyway, everybody, hope you have a great day. Have a good one. Bye-bye. Ooh, wait a minute. Not yet. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your patience. And most of all, thank you for your trust. I hope you have a good one. Have a great day.